Well, you've seen her in the movies, you danced to her music, and you've watched her on TV. Today, Doris Dear is joining us, and she is starring in a brand new show coming up later this month. What is it? Well, you gotta stay tuned to find out. I promise you, today's show will not be a drag.
Oh, darling, it won't be a drag, but it certainly will be exciting.
Hi there, welcome. We are going to have fun today. Today, Doris Dear is joining us, and she is starring in a brand new show called Valentine's Gay in New Hope, Pennsylvania, later this month. Nice to see you, darling.
Lovely
Great
to
have
see you, my dear.
Allow me.
Always, darling, always for you.
So great to see you. How do you do it? How do you find the time with such a busy schedule?
Well, you know, one must stay current, darling. There's lots to do in the big city, and well, you know, Doris just has to get around and spread the wealth.
Well, you look lovely today. I mean, it looks like you spent hours getting ready.
Oh, darling, I wake up,
I
I wrap it in silk, and I'm up and ready to go.
So let's talk about the new show, Valentine's Gay.
Very exciting.
Note the difference in letters. Not a D, it's a G.
Yes, Valentine's Gay. I'm doing its wonderful cabaret show. It's in a new space, the Raz Room in New Hope, Pennsylvania at the Ramada Inn. With two amazing, amazing talents, Therese Ginecco and Shani Rainbow, both multiple award winners in the cabaret scene here in New York City and worldwide. And we're doing this fantastic Valentine's Gay. It's a night to be remembered, that's for sure. It's going to be fantastic. We're doing a new take on an old holiday. And you know, the planets are in alignment that night that will only be happening maybe for the next 8,000 years or something. It's going to be so special and fantastic, I guarantee.
Well, if you're in it, then I'm sure it's absolutely going to be. So give us a little bit of insight without giving too much away. What exactly goes on in Valentine's Gay?
Well, Valentine's Gay, darling, Doris is here to teach everyone to have the gayest of their holidays. You see, I mean, you know, there's so many little things one can do to feel special on Valentine's Day. And, you know, I grew up a wonderful family with my guidebooks in hand. And, you know, there's this marvelous author that I'm going to be sharing with everyone that I carry around her books wherever I go. The one and only Gay Head. I mean, darling, honestly, true life is always better than fiction. She's a marvelous writer, and she is my Bible. And could I just share a couple of
Absolutely, please do.
Well, she wrote this one book, Party Perfect, by Gay Head. It's a marvelous, marvelous tome. And it's small. It fits right in your purse, darling. And she helps you just throw the perfect parties for all the girls. You know, and here, let me just share, like, you know, she loves recipes. If you want to have a space party, deviled ham missiles are always in vogue, darling. Very au courant. The deviled ham missile. I mean, it sounds like something we all would want.
But it's kind of intriguing, isn't it?
It's intriguing, that and butter soup. Well, darling, a little butter on the hips is always good for the lips, I say. But she's marvelous. She always, one of her great suggestions is the Around the World party, and I'll just leave that up to our viewers to figure out what that's about. Own conclusion. But my favorite book is The Dear Gay Head.
Oh, please share with us.
Darling, this is marvelous. This is her advice.
Is this like the Abby column?
This is like the Abby column by Gay Head. I mean, it's marvelous, marvelous. And it was published just recently in 1959. Now, here's one of my favorite questions. Is there any way to avoid necking at a party? Well, darling, Gay tells us that if there's a ping-pong table nearby and you and your date have the perfect right to make your own party. Well, darling, I mean, once there's a ping-pong table in the room, watch out, because she suggests that everyone from the age 12 up just go make their own party on the ping-pong table. And she says if there's a prom, now this is the best advice for all of our viewers out there, if there's a prom, set out for the prom with your gayest of conversations. Darling, is there any other way to have a conversation? Honestly.
Actually, no, there isn't.
No, there isn't.
When you think about it.
No. But she says to always make sure you have your most gallant escort service with you. Well, darling, how lovely. In 1959, Gay told us that go out, if you need a date, get an escort. Best escort service. Darling, things don't change much, you see. Nothing new. We've been doing the Gay escort, so it's marvelous, our good old Gay Head. But I'm going to be sharing lots of advice and Lots of ideas. We're going to be singing some fantastic songs, darling.
So you need to come up with your own guidebook. We need Doris Dear's.
Oh, well, darling, 10 minutes with Doris is like a year of advice. It's absolutely fantastic. It's going to be wonderful, and I do hope that we see you there.
Yes.
And everyone else out there, and come down to New Hope and have a marvelous time.
And you as Doris are no strange to cabaret. You've done it here in New York for many years. You've done Broadway.
Yes, Broadway, cabaret, we've done the Iridium and many rooms. It's great. New York has so many wonderful opportunities for a gal like me. Just marvelous. I mean, every time you turn around, it's why you literally have to get up, get out that door, and just attack life.
Hey, Doris is a name here in New York. I mean, explain your look, because you had like this really great 1950s type look on. We were talking a little bit before the show. I absolutely love the way you filled the room.
Oh, darling. Well, I was brought up in Staten Island, you know.
Okay.
It's like the heartland of New York City, out there in the rolling green garbage hills of Staten Island, darling. It was lovely when I brought. My mother was a model, you know, and she taught me well. She taught me as a young little girl to always wear the most flattering outfits and always be deckled in beautiful jewels.
Ah, well, that's why it says you must have spent hours in front of the mirror this morning.
Oh, hardly, darling. Oh, and she also taught me, my mother taught me, remember, bubbles and champagne is like bathing in pearls. Don't you love that?
I do love that.
So I do love that,
Oh, my goodness.
But yes, I learned everything from my mother. And as a young girl growing up, you know, looked to the lights of the city for my inspiration. And here I am. So lucky.
Wow.
So such a
so
lucky,
you were raised a city girl, basically.
I'm a city girl, honey.
Good, good.
Oh, yes. You know, you just go out there, even in a blizzard. Even in a blizzard.
And that's exactly what we kind of have going on here today. I mean, this is like the calm before the storm, actually.
But it doesn't stop us, does it, Jason?
No, it does not.
No,
we
it
are
doesn't.
here.
No, it doesn't.
We are here.
Yes, we are.
Fantastic. So how did you land this role in Valentine's Gay?
The Raz Room contacted us, saw some of my work, and said, we've got to have her, bring her in. We've got to have a show with that Doris Dear.
And you are the star of the show.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm starring along with Therese Ginecco and Shani Raybo. Doris is never afraid to share the spotlight, darling. I think it's only proper. Look at us, sharing the spotlight. It's how one must do things. It is how one
I agree.
And then coming up in March, you know, Doris also gives back. She's always giving back to the community. And we do Night of 1,000 Gowns in New York City. Have you been?
I have.
It is an amazing,
I was actually contacted by Gary Cosgrove, who wants to work with me with
Yes, Gary Cosgrove is the president of the Imperial Court of New York. It's one of the oldest LGBT charities in the world.
He reached out to me.
The U.S., Canada, and Mexico. I was just in Houston performing for some of the girls down there. But Night of 1,000 Gowns, it's on March 29th. You can go to the website, it's icny.org. And it's a marvelous event full of Broadway and pop divas and 6 hours of entertainment.
Night.
It's amazing. It's
really
glorious. Is. The jewelry, the hair, the costumes.
Not to mention the gowns.
The gowns. Oh, this is like a daytime outfit for Doris. Wait till you see her that night, darling. It's absolutely marvelous.
It is.
And she's... I'm going to be doing lots. You know, I'm in many movies and television.
We actually shared the stage on Normal Heart.
Yes,
we were in a couple of scenes
coming up on
with
HBO
Mark Ruffalo.
this spring with Mark Ruffalo. Who,
he's cute.
I must say, I do think he had a bit of a crush on Doris by the time we left. Scene after scene. Oh, and the love scenes. He didn't want to stop, darling. Didn't want to stop. I had to say, enough. Mark, we've got to get to the beach. Enough, enough. Pull back, darling, pull back.
It's funny, you know, when we were doing the scene, when we were getting off the ferry, because we shot our scene on Fire Island, I didn't even realize that it was him. Like, I was expecting him to be taller, actually. But you know what? He's cute.
Yes, and I've worked with him in other movies, too.
Oh, have you?
Yes, yes. Me and Mark, we go way back. He always requests Doris Dear when he's on set, darling. It's marvelous. But that's exciting. That's coming out on HBO this
That's a great
spring.
movie, which also started as a theater production.
Wonderful theater production with a revival, I believe, maybe 2 years ago, 2 seasons ago on Broadway. I believe it won some Tony Awards. And now we're going to be a part of this marvelous movie coming out. Yes. I was also in Men in Black 3, featured in the 1960s Andy Warhol section. Oh, Doris, that was truly, truly her time, darling. And I was just featured on the Carrie Diaries.
And that's coming up soon?
Yes, that was marvelous. That was so much fun to do. And also on Boardwalk Empire as a Swami.
So great shows. I mean, you're just getting out there, though. Like, take us back a little bit when Doris first was born.
Oh, she was born in a cloud, darling. It was a dark cloud. but she came through shining like the light of the sun, dear. It was a hard birth, but yeah, she came through, and she's ever since then she's just been nonstop, just bringing advice and happiness.
And Doris can sing.
Honey, Doris can sing. Honey.
Doris
She can
belt
sing. Out a note.
Can you do a little a cappella for us
what
right now?
What would you like to hear, darling? If the nightingales could sing like you, they'd probably sing their whole life through. 'Cause you brought a new kind of love to me.
Wow.
Thank you, darling.
Impressive, right?
Wow.
Well, you know, a lot of our lovely drag divas, you know, it's a lot of lip syncing for them, but you're the entire package.
Oh, well, darling. Now, there's many girls like me who have lots of talent. But, you know,
Yes.
I was raised a singer. I was taught to be a singer, and I try to bring that to the masses. I think it's so much fun to stand, and especially because I work with the Imperial Court.
Right.
We're a drag entertainment court. So what a great way to give back to the at-risk kids. We have so many at-risk youth here in New York City and all over the country. And we raise money, and what better way to do it than to bring song to people?
Absolutely.
And bringing song to people is so fun and so happy, and it's great. And, you know, and then when people tip you $1 or $2, darling, it goes right to the charity, and we love that. So, you know, we've raised millions for the at-risk youth here in New York City, so it's really great. And to be able to stand on stage in places like the Iridium and now the Raz Room, that's R-R-A-Z-Z Room in New Hope, Pennsylvania, it's just wonderful. I mean, it is a dream come true for a girl like me from Staten Island, you know, looking at those big city lights and having her dreams all come true. It's really wonderful.
It's amazing.
It's marvelous. It's fantastic.
So how long have you been with the Imperial Court?
This is our 5th year with the Imperial Court, and my wonderful partner and I have, we've been on the board of directors, and I've been executive producer of Night of a Thousand Gowns for the past 2 years, and we just love it, and we try to give back as much time as we can to our community, because you know, it's hard to raise money, and there's so many people like in a snowstorm like this who just need a warm cup of coffee and some soup and a place to stay. So we raise money for shelters and anyone who needs it. Everyone who's at risk, we just try to raise money for them.
Wow.
Doris has been very lucky in life, and she likes to give a little bit of it.
That's amazing. Well, I thank you for that. That's a wonderful thing.
Oh, sure.
So can you shed any light on what we can expect for Night of a Thousand Gowns this year coming up? It's actually just around the corner.
Just around the corner, the end of March 29th at the Marriott Marquis. Well, it's always a surprise, darling. We have lots of amazing entertainment coming to perform. And it's, you know, 6 hours of grand drag and fun and pop divas. And we've got a special surprise. A Broadway show is stopping by after 2 performances on Broadway.
Wow.
They're rushing over to the stage to give us a performance during the show. And, of course, it all comes together at midnight when we crown our new emperor and empress who represent the court for the following year. So it's really marvelous. And, you know, we're an all-volunteer agency, so we don't, nobody gets paid. We're all volunteer. We all give our time and our money. So all the money that we raise, we just try to give it right back to the community. We're a registered 501(c) charity. We work with every charity. People come to us to raise money. We work with Bailey House. We work with Iris House. We work with GMHC. We work with all the charities to really help them and just help the community. And Night of a Thousand Gowns is our big event because we do about 2 or 3 events a month in the local clubs and bars and perform and raise money. But Night of a Thousand Gowns is our biggie. Wow. It's when we honor those who have honored us and we give back. And 6 hours, and the best part, darling, at midnight is the Viennese chocolate buffet. Of course, I have to watch my waistline on that just a little, but, you know, a few truffles every now and then, darling, always good.
Exactly.
It is Prozac for the soul chocolate, so it's always good.
Well, I am there. I am sold on that alone.
Awesome. I can't wait, darling. It's going to be fantastic.
So we'll stick around because we're going to take a quick break here, and when we come back, we're going to have more with Doris Dear. Don't touch that dial. We'll be back. If you love The Jason Galka Show, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. If you'd like to be a guest on our show, send an email to thejasonshow@yahoo.com. Welcome back. Doris Dear is joining me today here on Jason Galka Show. Nice to see you.
Hey, Jason Galka Show.
So we left off talking about your film, your movies. You're in the new play coming up, Valentine's Gay.
So busy, darling.
You are busy.
So
I don't know how you
busy.
find the time to be here.
Well, you know, everyone wants a little piece of this.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about your film and your television shows. You've done Carrie Diaries, which is coming out, Boardwalk, and The Normal Heart, which we both have a small role in that as well.
Yes.
So what's it like to take Doris from Broadway and cabaret and putting her on the television screen and the movie screen?
Well, it's always interesting, as you know, being on set is nothing like it ends up appearing. Those are long days, and a girl must have a good hairspray to stand up to all that work and the hot lights and, you know, it's...
And the hot sun. We did Normal Heart in the middle of July.
And the hot sun, darling, but I did look good in my bathing suit, didn't I?
You did.
I could rock a one-piece, darling. I can still rock it. I mean, you know it's fun. It's hard work. It's long, tedious days, but who doesn't like getting fussed over by makeup people?
Exactly.
And having those big chairs to sit in, and, you know, it's just a marvelous day. And to be, especially in the Normal Heart, to be in a piece of history. I mean, that is our history, an important part of our history. It was an amazing, incredible, moving Broadway show.
And for people that aren't familiar with what it is or haven't seen the theatrical production, it does take place in the 80s during the AIDS epidemic when we didn't really know what it was. It was gay cancer, as we refer to it as.
Absolutely, yes. Good old Ronald Reagan decided it was the gay cancer and shouldn't have money put toward it. And the movie shows the struggle that we as a community had to sort of get it recognized, and the formation of ACT UP, and with the amazing, amazing friend of mine, I'm so proud to say, Larry Kramer. It's such a great story, and to be a part of this historic film, I think is really quite marvelous. And Larry actually called me and asked me to be in the show and said that he really wanted me in the movie, and would I do it? Well, darling, would I do it? Doris doesn't turn down movie roles, and we don't ever turn down Larry Kramer. But it's marvelous that Larry wrote the Broadway production, the play, and then they asked him to actually do the script for the movie, which is very rare. So he actually wrote the additional scenes, which is fantastic that they allowed him to do that.
It was an
so it
amazing
really
experience.
is his baby, and such a great piece of history that now both of us are part of. So it's going to be magnificent when it comes out.
I can't wait to see it. It's supposed to be coming out in the springtime, so stay tuned for that.
With Julia Roberts as
well.
Yes,
Julia Roberts. I saw her from across the way.
Oh, darling, she came to me over a Snicker bar. We both reached for it, and I said, darling, you can't have that, but I can. She said I was absolutely spectacular. Well, let me tell you, Julia Roberts is spectacular.
Yes.
She's actually more gorgeous in person. Of course, she did ask for a couple of hair tips and some makeup tips, but I don't, you know, that was private.
But Doris, you take place, I mean, for you, you're this housewife outside of all the fame and all of the acting and being on stage. I mean, what is your home life like?
Well, darling, we try not to let it go to our egos, darling. You know, once the lights are down and the camera's off, we're just regular people running to a deli, getting a cup of coffee. Of course, people do stop us on the street sometimes, darling. We try to, oh, no, I'm just here to get a chicken strip. You know, that's the way it is. But, you know, we all have our lives. We go home and we turn the crock pot on in the morning and we feed all the kids at night. And that's what it is, darling. Wow. We vacuum. Of course, we look fabulous while we do it because my mother taught me, always dress how you want the world to perceive you, darling. If you want to go out in your ripped pants and your horrible hair and some silly outfit, well, that's how the world's going to look at you. But darling, when you go out like this, well, they think you're a queen.
Heads will turn.
Well, they think you're a queen, darling, and aren't they right? Aren't they right?
They are right.
Oh, yes. But I'm very proud. I had such a marvelous upbringing and such great, you know,
Absolutely.
great.
And a great career as well.
Oh, I'm very lucky, as we both are, sitting here, you with your own show.
Oh,
Look at
thank you. Well, you know, as you know, I've been trying to get you for quite some time, so this is quite an honor to be sitting here next
darling,
to you talking with you.
haven't got me fully yet. Oh, but maybe, I don't know.
So I got to ask you, I mean, you've been in the business for so long now. I mean, what is like your most memorable piece that you've been a part of, whether it's theater, television, or film?
Well, it's hard to say. It's hard to pinpoint one exact. I will say one of my highlights is being right here on your show.
Oh, thank you.
It's always nice. It's always lovely. I think every project that one does, you know, as a performer and being in front of the public, you have to sort of 100% everything. Every time you do it, it's a brand new concept. It's a brand new thing, and you have to do it 100, 200, 300%. So it's sort of an emotional ride, and every time is just spectacular. Like this new show we're doing in the Raz Room, the Valentines Gay. I mean, we were approached, and together with Doris Dear and Shani Rainbow, whom I might say, darling, they are spectacular, award-winning musical singers and just fantastic, really well known here in New York, and they're partners themselves, and I'm so lucky to be sharing the stage with them, because now Doris Dear, you might know, she had the longest running Broadway cabaret act ever in New York at the Iridium. Just really amazing, amazing, and to be sharing the stage with these two ladies is spectacular. So it's sort of like three girls, three on the stage, darling. But, you know, we're doing this, and we're having new charts written, and we're doing some comedy and putting it all together. And you just approach it like, here we go again, and you take that roller coaster ride, and you take it all the way up, and the excitement, and then you get up there, and it's wonderful, and you go all the way down, and then you go home. And you make a salad, and you go to bed. And
you wake up the next day and you go on to the next project.
Absolutely. And the next day comes and hopefully the phone rings, darling. And lucky for me, it's been ringing for 35 years now.
Wow.
So very, very lucky.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you, darling.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I just say, you know, if your heart's in it, that's what matters. Your heart must be, and I have a very large heart. Don't know if you noticed.
So do you ever get starstruck when you get to work with some of these celebrities? I mean, some of the celebrities that have done my show, I mean, I grew up watching them. So to have them like right alongside of me and I get to basically ask them whatever I want, it's kind of surreal in a great way for me.
It is surreal, but darling, I must say that generally they're starstruck. Imagine that. No, it's always fun. I mean, you know, it's hard because when you're on set, you can't act like they're movie stars. You have to sort of pretend like they're just normal people, just shooting another multi-million-dollar project. And, but I just, you know, they're just fine. And yes, I mean, I got to meet my idol in life, Lucille Ball. I got to sit on her couch in Beverly Hills. I got to sit on her couch about a year before we lost her. And she was marvelous to me. She saw me out in L.A. performing and invited me over. And I got to sit with her and chat with her for about an hour. And, darling, that red hair is truly the brightest red I've ever seen. She was so kind to me. And she pulled out, she had a beautiful Harrell picture. Harrell was a famous MGM photographer. And she pulled it out of the frame and she signed it and gave it to me. And it's a glamour shot of her in her beautiful MGM days. So I got to talk to her, and she was my idol. And I was so starstruck.
Yeah.
So lucky to have that opportunity to talk to someone who was a pioneer in the industry.
Yes.
I mean, created the 3-camera sitcom, which we still use the same techniques and the same stage building. And in fact, did you know that the I Love Lucy laugh track that was created for I Love Lucy was actually taped during one of her tapings, is still used today.
Wow.
In fact, on the TV show The Friends, they used, and you can hear, Lucy's mother is actually on that soundtrack. And if you listen, you can find her actual laugh. And during Friends, there was Lucy's mother laughing during Friends. So you just never know where you're going to end up. You just never know.
You don't.
Never know. So
yeah, I've said this in previous shows too. Like it's the journey that makes this enjoyable. You know, it's not so much, you know, you're gonna get yeses, you're gonna get nos in this business, as you know.
Absolutely.
I think it's the journey that really keeps you going, and it's really the exciting part. It's like, where are you gonna end up next week or a month from now?
Well, darling, life is about the journey. It really is about the journey, and you have to make the most of it. And here in a big city like this, you know, sometimes it's not so easy, but one must wake up, take the silk off your hair, put a shine on your face, and go out into the world and make it happen. That's what life's about.
Well, you are an inspiration.
The journey never ends, darling. It will never end.
You are an inspiration to many. Before we go, is there any advice or tips you'd like to offer our audience who may inspire to be Doris or as successful as Doris?
Well, I'll take it from Party Perfect by our spectacular gay head. She says, why not throw an international party and treat your people to some international foods like spaghetti? And darling, it's international. What more could you want in life? And that's what I'm going to leave you with today.
Excellent. Doris, mwah, thank you so much for being so fabulous and being here today.
Oh, darling,
Best of luck with your show. How can people get in touch with you if they...
Well, they can, for the Raz Room, it's the Raz, R-R-A-Z-Z room.com. Or they can look for me at the Night of a Thousand Gowns at icny.org. Or they can like the Doris Dear fan page on Facebook,
On Facebook,
darling.
we're on Facebook as
well.
well.
Look me up, send me a little note, say hello, and I'll see you at the show.
I love you, darling. Thank you so much for being here today. In a snowstorm, nonetheless, but we made it. That's what New York is about.
That's
the show must go on. Thank you, as always, for watching. If you would like to get in touch with us here at the Jason Galka Show, share a story, be a guest, have a question or comment, you can send your questions or comments to thejasonshow@yahoo.com or visit our website. Thank you at home for watching. As always, we'll see you next time.